Hello, good morning and welcome back to the fish locker out on the shore. It is a lovely morning this morning, a lovely sunny winter morning. We've got large spring tides at the moment, so I'm hoping to do a little bit of foraging along a rocky shore. Now we've had some terrible weather these past few weeks, so I haven't had a chance of getting out on the shore just because it's been too rough. I mean, there's still a little bit of the swell hanging on now. You can see it all just running in here. I'm down here a little bit early today. I'm 2.5 hours before the bottom of the ebb, so that means the tide's going to be going out for 2.5 hours. I'm just enjoying a little bit of the sunshine. As the tide drops away, we are going to follow it down into all the rock pools, see what we can find. Anything that we can find. Crabs, lobsters, fish, just happy to be out on such a wonderful day. As the tide drops away, what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking in all these little cracks and crannies and like little caves like this, because this is where anything like a crab or a lobster is going to hide. But I've just noticed you can turn rocks over. Now, although I've never found a keepable lobster underneath a rock that I've turned over, because generally they need a lot of space and the rocks would have to be massive to hold them. I have found smaller ones. When you're turning rocks over, what you want to be looking for is you want to be looking for a flattish rock with a gap underneath. I'm going to try and flip this one now, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm going to need 2 hands for this. Two. There aren't any lobsters, but that's interesting. See that guy? That is what's called a top knot. Oh. We used to call them a digestive biscuit. But yeah, look, it's a little flatfish that flattens onto a rock. See him? Go on, down you go, pal. There's every number of little tiny crabs and urchins and little tiny cushion stars. Look how he's changed colour now. He's real dark earlier, wasn't he? He's real pale now. Yeah, there's little prawns and crabs and everything, but nothing of any size. More cushion stars, periwinkles. There's a little urchin. Oh, these are called a stingwinkle. These are actually predatory. They'll eat the other ones. But that one there, look, is a little queenie scallop, a little variegated scallop. Right, I want to do my best now to turn the rock back over. There we go. If you're going to come down, you're going to start flipping rocks over like that. What you need to make sure that you do is whatever you lift up, you put back down, because that's what gives the animals, the creatures, the fish, everything on there, which gives it shelter. If you leave it open, you just leave it open for seagulls and things like that to kill it. That there, look, you see it? That there is a green leaf worm. Looking into that cave that I showed you earlier, there is actually an edible crab up at the back. So I'm going to try and get my hook out, see if I can't persuade him out of there. And there he is. Holding on tight to my hook. Yeah, he's too small though, he's undersized. But that is a male brown edible crab. Tell it's a male because it's got a narrow narrow vent underneath there. But yeah, in order to be big enough, they need to be about that big. He is probably 3 years away from being big enough. So go on, in you go, back you go. You can let go now. Yeah, all I'll use there is I've just got a little underwater torch. See you later. There's plenty of prawns around. See them out? Stacks of little prawns. I would have thought the water would have been a bit too cold for them. Oh, there was a fish. Yep, that is short span sea scorpion. If you'll slow down long enough. That's a little rockling. And behind my foot we have a stunning snakelox anemone. The shore is wonderful to come to at this time of year. If you can get a fine day like today, it's just wonderful, fascinating. In the middle of the summer you do get an awful lot of seaweed growth. We get something called thongweed, which is just like long strips. It's also called sea spaghetti, and that just takes over everywhere. Now that's dying off. A lot of that's been ripped up in all the rough weather. So you can get down into these prawns are everywhere, look. No, too fast for my hands. Should have brought James's net with me. Could have had a load of them prawns out there. Yeah, I thought it would have been too cold for the prawns, but oh look, they're still here. We've got serrated racks. This is carrageen, Irish moss. We've got pom-pom weed, little tiny bits of sea lettuce coming through. This is delicious. Most of these, well in fact all of these are edible. I've mentioned this before, there are no toxic seaweeds, so technically all of them are edible. Some are just nicer than others. Like this here, this is called pepper dulce. These flat fernweeds here, pepper dulce, and that is, looks like sea lettuce but it could be gutweed. Delicious, 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 delicious. I'm not going to collect any seaweeds today. We've collected some in some of the foraging videos before. I've found the nicest way to have it is either dried or you just wash it in fresh water and then steam it. The reason why you wash it in fresh water is just because it is incredibly salty. There's another one. See the little crab hiding at the back of there? There he is, see? That's what you're looking for, just bigger. All of these here, these are the new stalks growing. See them all down around there? These are the new stalks growing of these. These are the thongweeds. These are just the ones that have survived. These are the ones that are growing back. Got some big old limpets. An interesting, well, I find it interesting. An interesting little fact about these limpets here. They're grazers. They move when the tide comes in. They move around and then come back to the same spot. That's why these rocks are clean of seaweed, because these keep grazing and eating all the algae. Now the hardest known naturally occurring substance in the world isn't a diamond or anything like that. It's a limpet's tooth. There you go. Here is all the thongweed, all the sea spaghetti that I was talking about earlier. The worst thing about it when you're walking around is it gets wrapped around your feet. Oh. some broad-clawed porcelain crabs. Incredibly well camouflaged on them rocks, aren't they? Oh, there's a little sea urchin. I have been picking up a little bit of litter that I've found. Now there was kind of like a project, there was an initiative that was going on in the summer that I was part of, and it's called Take 5. Now it's either take 5 items or spend 5 minutes just clearing up. When you go for a walk on the beach, on the bank, anywhere out, when you go for a walk out anywhere, no matter if you're going out in the woods, spend 5 minutes or pick up 5 things. That's it. You don't have to change the world overnight, but every little helps. Well, the sunshine's gone and the rain's coming. Hopefully it's just going to be a passing shower. I was walking past and I noticed this. Now that's exactly like I was saying. I was just going to say, look, you're looking for the cracks and the holes in the caves because that's when the crabs are. And as soon as I come over here like this, I just saw, can you see it yet? I just saw an antenna flick out. There's a lobster down there. Yeah, look. Now keep an eye on him. This hole goes right down underneath there, and I'm not sure I'll be able to get it out. So I'm going to try something else with him. But that crab there, look. Oh, easy. All you try and do is just get your fingers behind it. Don't grab hold of a leg or a claw and pull, because you'll just pull its claw or its leg off. You need to try and get hold of them all at once and just gently wiggle them out. There's no point, it's about patience and skill about getting these out. You can't try and just yank them straight out, otherwise you'll end up damaging them. Nearly there. There, look. A male protecting his protecting his little girlfriend. Look, there's a little female. He'll be protecting her because he's going to mate with her. Stick her right back there, and we'll have a look at him. Still too small though, but that shows you exactly what you're looking for. What I'm going to do with this lobster here is I'm going to try and get up in the hole behind it and it'll think that something's in the hole behind it. I'm hoping it's going to come out and turn its back to me. Yeah, look, see it turning round? There. As far as extractions go, it's just about using a bit of intelligence. I mean, these are incredible creatures. Now, lobsters have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, and they haven't changed much since then, which shows you it's a really good design. But they're not hard to outsmart. There, all I did, he'd backed himself into that cave in there, like that, so his claws were out, and by putting my hook to the back, I made him think that there was something in the hole behind him. Talk about it. I'd made him think that there was something in the hole there behind him. So he turned round to face it and offered me his back. Now as it is, I am going to have to measure this one, because I think it's about on the legal limit. Legal limit in my area is 90mm of the carapace. That guy there, I think he might be just too small. He might be too small. That's why you measure them. Yeah, I was stupid. I was looking for the crab, and I just cast my eye down, and then this antenna, you see, look how he flicks them round. Oh, yeah. This antenna just flicked past, and I saw it. But that claw especially is not to be messed with. You see, they've got two different types of claws. They've got a big, strong, crunching claw and a fast cutting claw. So the big one, they get hold of prey, like crabs or fish, and crush it with this one, and then bring in the pair of scissors to cut it up. And they feed themselves with, if you can see their front, these legs here have got little pinching fingers on, see? So they crush it and kill it, cut it up, and then feed themselves with little fingers. I've been collecting balls. You can sit in there and play a game of tennis. Yeah. To measure them, you are measuring from the back of the eye socket to the back of the carapace, and it needs to be 90mm. .91 and 92. Brilliant. Yeah, I found this. I don't know what this is. If anybody knows, let me know. My curiosity got the better of me. It turns out this is a lobster pot tag from over in Nova Scotia. Now, I have no idea how long it's been travelling for, but to go from Nova Scotia just in a straight line to cross the entire of the Atlantic to end up in the British Channel, a total journey in a straight line is 4,500 kilometres. That is incredible. Brilliant result. The tide is right at the bottom of the ebb. Start making my way further round, and then we'll start heading back. Yeah, them rain clouds, you can see it moving through now, can't you? There's another one. Got down there. Ah, little velvet swimming crab right at the back of that one. Aye, someone must have been playing tennis round here. That's quite an interesting piece. It's a shame it's so heavy, that'd go well in my garden. That almost looks like a thumbnail picture. Yeah, I've had the best of the tide now. Found myself a fantastic lobster. Quite a few little crabs. Not big enough to keep, but it's a good sign for the future. And I've picked up quite a bit of plastic, including a load of balls. Right, so I'm going to head back to the van now. I'm going to drop back past the house. I'm going to pick up a couple of things, and we'll see about doing a cook-up. found myself a nice little quiet sheltered spot. I ran home real quick and I got myself one of my Swedish torches. These are homemade. I've got a video on the Fish Locker Workshop channel showing you how to make those. They're perfect for this type of cooking. All it does is, it's a bit like a rocket stove, being that air goes in there and feeds the fire inside of there. And all I've done is I've got a little piece of pallet and I've just broken it down to pieces with my Leatherman, and I'm just feeding it little tiny pieces just to keep it burning. Once the fire's properly taken inside, I'll get the lobster on. He's just hanging out in there. Now, cooking of crabs and lobsters, is dead simple. I've covered it a few times in the videos before, but I'll run through it really quickly. All you need to do is either clean seawater, or fresh water with salt added. The water just needs to be as salty as the sea that you've taken it from. Get a pan of it on there, get it up to a proper fierce rolling boil, like a proper bubbling boil. Then put the crab or the lobster in. When the water gets back up to the full rolling boil again, 2 more minutes after that and it's ready to come off. That's how simple it is. Just, that's it. That will work for any size of shellfish. Just because the bigger they are, the longer it takes for the water to get back up to the rolling boil, so it cooks for longer. I just need to keep feeding that fire until it's properly taken, and I'll get a pan of water on. Just enjoying 5 minutes of peace and quiet in the sunshine. Those, you can see, cumulonimbus clouds. They're fascinating. I've throughout my life, when I've had different professions to do with the ocean, I've studied meteorology. I mean, I'm studying it again now because I'm doing my tickets. And those are cumulonimbus clouds. They're fascinating. They're shaped like an anvil, and it's through like warm up drafts. That's why they've got up and then they flatten off on the top. They can go up to 20,000 metres, 60,000 feet high they can be. Yeah, those are big rain clouds. Those are like thunder clouds. Because they do say, when you see an anvil, expect a hammer. So, yeah, that's when those are your thunder clouds. That is a proper fierce rolling boil. So we'll get the lobster dispatched, get it straight in the pot. That's what I mean by a fierce proper rolling boil. That's back up to the rolling boil now. You see what I mean? It's back up to a fierce rolling boil. 2 more minutes and it's ready to come off. We might just get the last of the sunshine. Perfect little one-use fire. Right, what do we do with you? Yowza. Yowza! And in a little bit of the water, I'm just going to melt some butter. A little bit less. The reason why lobsters go red, I mean, European lobsters, all of them, I'm going to move this because otherwise you're just going to be seeing steam the whole time. European lobsters are blue, all some shade of blue and white. They turn red because they've got a pigment inside their shells called axanthin. And when they're cooked, that breaks down, that's why they go red. What I'm going to do is actually, I love all lobster. My wife only likes the claws. So I'm going to take one of the claws off. I'm going to take that home. That's going to come home with me, and Hannah can have that. All this is it's a little creme brulee dish from, I think it was from a Christmas. all with a little bit of melted butter. Oh, that is absolutely divine. Where's my little picker stick? Someone got one. Just chunks of delicious, perfectly cooked lobster meat. You really can't beat just cooking simply like that. Good ingredients, fresh like that, they don't need a lot. Now, inside this piece of tail here, getting into the tail is really simple. All you do is get hold of the end, and just go, take the end off it. And then the middle part is just give it a good, put that down there, just give it a good, like that. You hear the crack? And there it goes. You are a perfect lobster tail. Now inside of here there is an intestine line. There, look. So you just peel the back off, and that piece there you don't want to eat. That is its intestinal tract. It's not going to do you any serious harm to eat it. It's just not very nice, is it? Look at that. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, look, all I've got is I've just got a little piece of stick, and I'm just teasing it out of the legs, look. All you do is just poke them through. And each segment has got a little bit of meat in. Right, well, I'm all finished. I've picked through and I've emptied all the legs. There's nothing left but little bits of shell. I have kept one claw. I'm going to take one claw home, and Hannah can have that in a salad later on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these little bits of shell down to the bottom of the rock pools, so all the crabs and blennies and gobies can have a pick through. They can have a feed too. Now these stoves, these are brilliant like this, because that's burnt, well, I don't know, for what, 3/4 of an hour now, from the start of me lighting it all the way through to now. And if I wanted to, I could literally just pick them up, because there's no transfer of heat. You do what you want with it. Chuck it in the sea and cool it off. Chuck it on a bonfire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck it in a rock pool, cool it down, and then take it back home with me. And then when we have a bonfire, I'm going to burn off all my old stoves. But are they great? If James was with me, if my little boy was with me, this is where we'd toast some marshmallows. Yeah. We'll get all wrapped up. We'll see you in a bit. And there we go. Everything all wrapped up. You'd never know I'd been there now. That's really important. You always want to leave places better than what you found them. I hope you enjoyed joining me on the show. Hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.